Rich here and welcome to Driftomaniacs Viral Video Challenge Week 12. If you think this is running a little bit late, I'm inclined to agree with you. That might be a little bit of a hint as to what this week's challenge is about, because it is still technically week 12 by the time this video is up, although I am running very late. Accordingly, the cut-off date for entering this week's competition will be midnight Pacific Standard Time on the 26th, so I am giving people quite a bit of time to enter week 12's challenge. And when I mention the word incline, that is because this challenge is all about crawlers. It's not open to road cars this week, not open to monster trucks. This week's challenge is purely for those people out there with crawlers. Now, you are free to use whatever crawler you want. It can be a micro crawler, a 1/24 scale, 1/18 scale crawler. Don't mind at all. In fact, those may well be proved better at this week's challenge. But anyway, let me get straight down to it and show you exactly what you need. Well, the first thing you're going to need is a board to run your crawler up that you can change the angle on. And the next thing you are going to need is an Incline app for your phone. This one is called Angle Pro on the iPhone. As you see, when I tilt it on there, you can see the angle of the phone changing. That is because this week's Incline challenge is exactly that. It is who can crawl up the steepest angle on an incline board with their crawler. And like normal, there are going to be two prizes. One is going to be for a kind of anything goes crawler. It can be 6 wheels, modify the heck out of it. And the other prize is going to be for the steepest slope climbed by a crawler, costing under $200, giving people who don't happen to have a $650 6-wheel crawler a chance to win a prize. That's not the price you bought it for, that's the price that yours truly finds it on the internet for. Okay, I'm not going to be getting into an argument over price point with somebody. That ain't happening this week, people. So, you've got your crawler, you've got your board, and you just need something to measure the incline with. And this is Angle Pro on my iPhone there. You can see when I move the phone, it shows the angle on there. So you can place that on the side of your board, facing the camera, so we can see exactly what angle it is on the board. I will demonstrate this to you in a second, but I want you to crawl up the board from the bottom. Now, you are not allowed any run up. So no driving at the board from 20 feet away when just momentum carrying it up. This is purely about your car's crawling ability. Likewise, you can put on whatever coating you want on the board, provided it is something like this matting, it's carpet, maybe a sheet of rubber. You are not to go and paint the board with some super sticky stuff that the wheels cling to. Likewise, the wheels on your crawler are to remain stock. You're not going to go and coat them with goo or anything like that. This week, again, I want people to enter in the spirit of the competition. You wouldn't go and coat your crawler tires in some sort of sticky shoe goo or anything like that when you're out on the trail. So I don't want you doing that in this competition either. This is in the interest of fairness. This competition is about who can crawl up the steepest slope, not necessarily who can bend the rules to crawl up the steepest slope. I hope that makes sense there, people, as I have had a few people comment on the fairness of some of these challenges in the past couple of weeks. Anyway, let me show you exactly what I've got in mind for this week's challenge. And the other thing I should have said, I want your crawling board, the slope you're going to crawl up to be at least 4 foot long, okay? And I want to see you crawling at least 3 foot up the board. Okay, so the back of the truck has got to reach a minimum of 3 foot up the board, and if you then struggle at that point, then so be it. But I want to see a good 3 feet climbed at the maximum angle on there. Fingers crossed, you get all the way to the top of the board and over it. Hope that clarifies that point. Just remember, guys, if you like what you see today, don't forget to subscribe. Okay, and when it comes to your attempt at crawling up the board at the steepest slope possible, the crawler is to start off from the bottom of the board. You're not allowed any run up whatsoever on this challenge. So don't think you can come racing in with your rock racer from 20 feet away and simply use the momentum to blast up the ramp, because that is not in the spirit of this competition. It's purely about crawling up the slope. You can place your inclinometer on there at the start, and I want to see that on the video. You can see if you were to turn the video through 90 degrees, this is a 50-degree slope that this crawler is climbing up. Then in one continuous take from showing me that, I want to see the crawler go up the ramp. I also want to see the inclinometer put on it again at the end of the video, so we can all be assured that that is the angle that you have climbed up to assure nobody bends the rules. So what I don't want to see is people charging in from 2 or 3 feet away like this and ploughing up the ramp. Okay, what I want to see people do is start from the base of the ramp and, using the skill of their crawler, climb up the steepest angle possible. Now, you are welcome to enter this competition as many times as you wish, as I have a feeling this may get quite competitive this week. Indeed, out of any of the challenges I have set so far, I expect this one to be the most competitive. So, hopefully people get the idea. Nice simple competition this week, but I do have a feeling that this is going to get very, very competitive with people trying to get the maximum angle on the car. What I would say is, you are welcome to modify the crawler in whatever way you want to climb up as steep a slope as possible. However, you are to use stock tyres. They're not to be treated with anything to make them super sticky. I want the crawler and the tyres naturally to be doing their work. I don't want people just thinking up smart ways that they can make the tyres stick to the board better. That is not going to be in the spirit of this competition. And you're welcome to use whatever car you want, provided it is a crawler. The object of this is to crawl up the ramp, not to simply use brute power to kind of blast up the ramp. I hope people can understand that. If anybody's got any comments or questions on that choice, then please do have your say in the comment section below the video. So, quite a simple challenge. All you're going to need is your crawler, a board to climb up, and one of those inclinometer apps on there. And as ever, there will be 2 prizes this week. One for the kind of anything goes crawler, and one for a crawler with a value of less than $200 on there. I feel that opens this up because I don't want this challenge being won by the person that has simply got the most money to throw at a rock crawler. I hope that makes sense and is in the interest of fairness. Anyway, what are those prizes? Well, the winners get to choose either a servo or a 2S lipo, which will be shipped free to them wherever they are in the world. To get the legal bit out of the way, this is solely a Driftomaniacs competition and nothing to do with YouTube or any of its affiliates whatsoever. You have until midnight Friday the 26th Pacific Standard Time to get your entry in. And to enter the competition, you must post a link to your video in the comment section below this video. If you don't do that, you won't be classed as having entered. In the event of a dead heat on the incline, the person that posted their video first will be declared the winner on there. So it is in your interests on this one to get your entry in as soon as possible. And there is also one line of text in the description below this video that I need you to include in the title of your video. There is also another line of text in the description below this video that I need you to include in the first 3 lines of your video description. And I'm inclined to think this is going to get quite competitive at the top of the challenge this week. Anyway, I'd like to think this challenge can be done anywhere, even in your wife's kitchen while she's at work. Well, thumbs up if you like this video, guys. Post any comments you might have in the comment section below the video and hit the circle below to subscribe. And if you do hit the circle, don't forget to hit the bell.